As you start to invite some movement into the fingers and toes, let that movement grow organically. Maybe you start to reach or bend or stretch in any way that is calling to you right now. Let yourself find movement as it feels right for you. Find your way into drawing bent knees towards the body and give yourself a hug. Deep squeeze the knees. Use the hands to press each knee towards the chest and then grab onto both knees. Deep hug. Then we're going to invite a gentle rocking movement. Bring each hand to its respective knee and a soft push and pull of the knees. Gently push the knees to an arm's length away and then draw them back towards you. Notice as you push them to an arm's length about above the hips, you create an arch in the low back. So we're drawing it to an arched low back and flat. Arched and flat. Warming up the low back for movement. Drawing blood flow into the muscles and tissues. Hang on to your left knee, let your right foot float down to the mat so that your knee is bent and pointing to the sky and your foot's flat on the floor. Bring your left leg straight up to the sky and flex and point, flex and point. And then keep that flex and point going as you let your hands relax to the sides and slowly lower that leg. Keep your foot in line with the knee, in line with the hip. As you slowly lower the leg, flex and point. We're working the muscles of the arch of the foot into the low leg. Heel touch down and flex and point all the way back up. 2 more times. Articulate that flex and point, flex and point, flex and point. You may start to feel some muscle activation that you're not used to. That's okay. At the top, pause. Once the leg is reaching high to the sky, once again, reach long through your heel, flex your toes back towards you. Stay evenly grounded on your hips as you bring that leg wide to the side and across. Wide to the side, inhale, exhale across. Going to 7. Keep the hips evenly grounded. And pause back at the top. Bring your hands behind the head, interlaced fingers. Now you can choose to just pause and hold it here if you'd like a little more core activation. Remember, everything I say is a suggestion. Always make this practice your own. If you would like more core activation, draw your elbows to the sides of the head so that your arms are hugging your face as if you're trying to touch your elbows over your forehead. So hug your arms towards the sides of the head. Keep your face and elbows pointing to the sky. Think of lifting from the heart. Keep your head and neck in line with the heart. You are not going to roll up. There will be no curling up. Think of lifting your heart straight up to the sky. Keep your face parallel to the ceiling. Inhale to prepare. On the exhale, lift your heart and lower back down. No roll-ups, just a straight lifting of the heart like a string is pulling your heart up to the sky. Going to 7. And bring it back to a pause. Release your arms back down to the side. Draw your knee towards you. Give yourself a hug. And then let that foot float down to the floor. Again, the knee is still pointing to the sky. You're stabilizing with that leg. Lift up the second leg up to the sky and flex and point, flex and point. And then release your arms down to the sides if they're hanging on, and slowly lower that leg to heel touch the floor. Articulate that flex and point the whole way. We're working those muscles of the arch into the low leg. Heel touch down and bring it back up. 2 more. Keep the foot in line with the knee, in line with the hip. Try not to kick wide or too much to the midline. Pause when you get back up to the top. Reach tall through that heel, flex the toes back towards you. Keep your hips evenly grounded, long sides of the body as you bring that foot wide to the side and across. Going to 7. Bring it to a pause back at the top. This is a great place to hold it or make this practice your own. If you would not like to go any farther, just holding builds the muscle memory of strength here. If you would like more core activation, hug your arms towards the sides of the head, hug your elbows as if they're trying to touch over your forehead. Keep your face parallel to the sky, keep your face and elbows pointed upward. On the exhale, you lift the heart, head and neck in line with the heart. Going to 7. See if you can get those shoulder blades off of the mat. And then release the arms back down. Draw a bend into your knee. Deep squeeze that knee. And then release the foot back down to the mat. Bring your arms wide to the side, arms in line with the heart, not the shoulders, but the heart. Arms in line with the heart. Lengthen your legs down to the mat. Draw the shoulders down and back underneath the back body, creating more space between the shoulders and ears. You may start to feel some sensation in and around the shoulders as we're deepening the shoulder opening in this position, and as we add more layers to this position. So keep your upper arms right where they are. Keep your upper arms right where they are. And then bend at the elbows so that your low arms, or so that your forearms are parallel at either sides of your head. Sort of like the field goal position, but your palms are facing up, yes? Yeah, we all got it. So your elbows are at a right angle, your forearms are parallel at either sides of the head, upper arms are at a T with the heart. Now here comes the fun part. Hug your wrists, the tops of the hands and all 10 fingers to the floor. Ooh, ah. Harder than it sounds, right? Hug your wrists, the tops of the hands, and all 10 fingers to the floor. This is the most important thing in this pose. If you need to, draw your shoulders down the back body one more time to create space between the shoulders and ears. Again, you may start to feel sensations in the shoulders. You may or may not as we get deeper into the shoulder opening. Now coming into this pose as you honor the alignment with wrists and tops of the hands and fingers hugging to the floor and shoulders down the back body, we've created a big arch in the back body. So this is your natural neutral arch here. You're going to inhale in this arched position. On the exhale, it's going to be a rib crunch. So you're going to think of your low ribs crunching down and into the belly as you flatten your back body towards the mat. It's a big crunch of the belly as you flatten your back into the mat on the exhale. It's going to be a big whooshing exhale. Take a big breath to prepare. Hug the hands, wrists, and fingers to the floor on your exhale. Going to 10. Don't be shy. Big, strong, whooshing exhale. 8 more. Keep the hands and wrists pressed to the floor and fingers. Good. Work the low ribs into flattening the back. And release your arms down to the sides. Back to a natural flowing breath. Notice where and how you felt it. Ah. Ah. Draw bends back into the knees. Feet hips distance apart. Start with your feet below the knees and then walk them just a little bit away. Just a little bit away from you so that they're not directly below the knees. With your arms down at your sides, inhale to prepare. On the exhale, push into the feet, lift the hips a little bit. Not a lot, just a little bit. Like an inch or 2 off of the ground. Start with rotating the hips. It's a tilt of the hips. So you're lengthening the low back, lengthen your tailbone towards your knees, crunch your belly, draw your pubic bone up, tuck the low ribs into the belly to shorten the abdominal front. Then press into your feet, squeeze the inner thighs, squeeze the glutes into the lift. And slowly lower back down. You should feel some hamstring activation, inner thigh, glutes, core crunching. They're all working together. On your next inhale, lift it a little bit and rotate the hips. Lengthen the tail, squeeze the belly, press into the feet, squeeze the inner thighs and glutes. You come up to a long line from knees to chest. It's not a big arching bridge. It's as if someone could stand on your hips. A long, strong bridge. Slowly lower back down. 3 more times. Work with the exhale. Visualize what would it feel like to have someone stand on your hips in this pose. What would you activate to hold them up? And slowly lower it back down. On this next one, you're going to prepare to hold. So on your next exhale, lift. Then bring your hands together underneath the body. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. This is going to make it a little bit more arching as you pop your heart up into the air to draw your shoulder blades together underneath you. Your hands are hugging interlaced fingers so that your hands are hugging below your glutes. The pinky sides of the hands are touching the floor. Your arms are making a tripod of support here. On the inhale, you're going to drop one hip 1/3 of the way. It doesn't matter which one, just remember which one you start on. 1/3 of the way, exhale, press that hip. Second side. Keep alternating, 5 on each side. Now this is a great place to stay and explore. You can always drop both hips a little bit and reactivate and squeeze. If you would like more challenge, this is all about your practice. Go at your own pace. If you want more challenge, press into the right foot, lift the left leg. Reach long through the heel. Lower both hips 1/3 of the way. Exhale, squeeze the glutes and press through the heel. Going to 5. Hold the lift, hold the lift. Then that leg goes wide to the side. Keep the hips lifted. Exhale across, just 5. And slowly lower that leg back down. Pause at center, reactivate everything, find your solid bridge. Then second side, press into the foot and lift the second leg. Lower both hips a little bit, squeeze the glutes, press through the heel. Then wide to the side and across. And slowly lower that leg back down. Ooh, ah. Squeeze the glutes, pause at center, reactivate everything, then separate your hands, separate your shoulder blades, and lower down 1 vertebrae at a time. Draw the knees towards you, give yourself a hug. And then gentle rocking by push and pull the knees. This next one is easier than it looks, I promise. It's easier than it looks. Bring your arms down to the sides, hug your shoulder blades and palms into the floor. Inhale to prepare. On the exhale, you're gonna lift your hips and roll your knees up towards your face. Don't knee yourself into the face, it doesn't feel good. And slow and controlled, lower back down. On the exhale, it's a little bit of a momentum, right? So you have to work the exhale and bring the knees towards you. Just going to 5. And then 5 on each side, alternating. So instead of the face, aim for over the shoulder. And pause. Hug your knees. Thank your body. Wherever you're at is perfect. Thank you, body. Thank you for being curious about trying new movements. Notice any thoughts that might be arising for you. Is there any state of reaction or being pushed and pulled by thoughts? Allow yourself to sink deeper, observe the thoughts, and just say, okay, how do I stay present for this experience? What do I feel? Where do I feel it? At each moment of practice, you're building a muscle memory, a brain-body connection that you can come home to. And where you're at right now is perfect. Lengthen the legs up to the sky. Feet in line with the knees, in line with the hips. Feet are hips distance apart, arms down at your sides. Inhale to prepare. On the exhale, lower your legs until you feel an arch in your back, 1 to 2/3 of the way. You just want to be able to slide your fingertips underneath the low back so you're balanced on the back of the hips. Try to lock out your knees as much as possible. Long, straight legs. Feet are hips distance apart. Make sure you can breathe. Relaxed face, relaxed jaw, relaxed neck. If you need it, right, use the low ribs to activate a crunch in the belly. We're going to heel, touch. Remember which side you start on. Lower one long straight leg to heel, touch, and bring it back. Second side. I'm going to 7 on each side. Pause at the top, bring bent knees towards you, give yourself a hug. Bring each hand to its respective knee. Hug bent elbows towards the sides of the body. Flex at the ankles so that the toes are pointed up towards you. Now, in a moment, we're going to spinal rock up to seated. If you have any back injuries, or it just doesn't sound like something that feels right for your body, you can roll over onto your side and use your hands to push up to seated if you'd prefer. If you would like to spinal rock, flex at the ankles, and on your exhale, you're going to kick your weight through your heels and pulley up to seated. Hi-ya. And if that's okay for your body, we're going to do it a few more times. Rock back and up. Last one. And this time, find your balancing point on the glutes. Find the balancing point. Sometimes it takes playing with it a little bit to find that center. This is a great place to stay. If you're still building the muscle memory of balancing, you can touch down with your hands. That's an option. We're going to bicycle an upward facing boat. Lengthen one leg to parallel the floor and then the other. Keep your feet hips distance apart. So you can hang on here for balance and support of building the muscle memory, or you can lift the arms if you prefer. Three more on each side. 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. Hold the lift. Hold the lift. Remember, you can touch down if you need to. You can hold it here for this next one. Lengthen and knees to heart. And if you want more challenge, lift the arms. Five, 4, 300, just kidding. 2 and 1. Come on up to seated, turn and face the front. I know we're having fun. My hair got crazy. That's how I know. It's like we were laying down the whole time, right? Just hanging out. All right. This next one, you can do it 2 ways. The more traditional way is a stretchy way, pigeon pose. Or if you like more activating, this will activate the outside of the hip. I affectionately call it the side booty. And also stabilizing the outside of the upper thigh. These muscles in conjunction help stabilize the low back. So if you have a history of low back issues, this is a great area to strengthen. But also if you have very, very tight hip muscles, right? So we want to think mobile but strong. If you have very, very tight hip muscles, that can also perpetuate low back issues. So be curious about what's right for your body. Do I have really tight hips, or does it just feel good when I stretch and maybe I need more stability there, right? Because sensation can be tricky. Sometimes it just feels good, but it's not exactly what the body wants. So be curious. What are you telling me, body? And sometimes it's trial and error. Sometimes you try and you're like, oh, I needed the other thing. So tools for your tool belt, things for you to play with in your home practice. We're gonna start on the right side. So bring the right knee down towards the floor and bring your hands to either side. You want an appropriate bend in this knee, not too wide, not too tight. Slide your left leg back behind you. So I'll demonstrate it both ways. If you would like to stretch, you're gonna use your hands, lift and shift your hips so that your hips are balanced evenly. You don't wanna be falling into one side or the other, evenly lowering the hips over that side. If you would like to strengthen, you want to fly, flying pigeon, you're gonna keep this hip grounded. Do not lift this hip off the floor if you want to fly. That whole outside of the leg is pressing into the mat. You're gonna lean your heart forward over the bent knee and lift the back leg. Explore lifting the back leg. So try to lift with the outside of the hip, the outside of the thigh here. Keep your heart turned down. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. If you're flying, make sure your hip is grounded. Do not fly on your knee only. So if you want to fly, keep that hip drop to the floor. Yeah, good. So honor what's right for you. Do you want to stretch or do you want to fly? Beautiful explorations, everybody. You can play with it through repetition, or you can hold the lift. If you're finding the strength, you can hold the lift. If you're holding the lift, you can lift the hands. Find your unique expression of this pose. I think you all look more like doves than pigeons, for the record. My boyfriend calls this quail pose. He likes the quail. Be your own bird, I say. 4 more breaths here, holding. Long, slow breathing. And bring it on back to center. Notice where and how you felt it on that side. It's a different one, right? Flying pigeon, totally different experience. Yeah. Second side, bring your weight into the left knee, hands on either side, slide the right leg back. Remember to look for that appropriate bend in your knee, not too wide, not too tight. If you are stretching, lift and shift the hips. If you would like to fly, keep the hip grounded. Lean your heart forward over the front knee and explore lifting the back leg. You want to lift through the outside of the hip, the outside of the thigh. Notice my knee is more or less turned down. Not completely down, but not side either, right? Because if you lift through the side, you're getting more the outside of the thigh. Just about fine-tuning that alignment. And it takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of curiosity. The first time I did this, I was like, whoa, that is really hard. My new favorite thing. So it took many months of exploring and practicing. You can play with holding the lift if that's where your practice is tonight. And if you want, you can explore lifting the hands. And slowly bring it back to center. Notice where and how you felt it on that side. One of the things that I love about flying pigeon is that not only is the leg that's lifting working, but also the leg that's stabilizing you. You're getting it through both sides of the hips in different ways. Bring the legs wide to a V. And with your hands at either sides of the hips, flex and point, flex and point. Hands hug close to either sides of the hips. Get your wrists nice and tucked into that side booty. And point your toes to the sky. Inhale to prepare. On the exhale, lift your left leg. Oh. And bring it back down. Oh my goodness. Second side. And bring it back down. 4 more on each side. Hands back behind you a little bit. This next one is easier than it looks. Don't think of lifting your legs with your leg muscles. Think of a seesaw. So start with like your weight a little bit forward, and then on the exhale, bring your weight back into your hands and lift the legs. Yeah. Yeah. Last one, hold the lift. Hold the lift. Hold the lift. If you want more challenge, lift your hands. Breathe, relax your face, relax your jaw. Relax your neck muscles. Oh my goodness. Slowly bring it back down. Point your toes. Hands back behind you. Inhale to prepare. On the exhale, push into your hands, push into your heels, squeeze your glutes and lift. Lift your heart between your shoulders and look up to the sky. Hold it here, hold it, hold the lift. Relax face, relax jaw. Let your jaw hang back by your ears. Keep holding, and slowly lower, back down. Doesn't that feel good? Anti-sitting, right? Does anybody sit for a living? And then sit to relax and reward yourself after? Oh, I sat all day, I'm gonna go home and sit. Ooh, we gotta change that, right? Bring your feet together into bound angle. Hands on the feet or ankles as you wish. And we're gonna work some Arching and rounding of the neck only. So think of your body as if it's between two panes of glass. Soft elbows to draw the shoulders down and away from the ears. On the inhale, look up and lift your chin. Don't let your low ribs pop forward. Keep your body tall. And on the exhale, round the neck only. Chin tucks towards the throat and collarbones. Bow your face to the heart. 5 cycles. Inhale back up to center. Right hand on the right hip, left arm becomes a kickstand. You can adjust your kickstand anytime. Push your right leg down to the floor. Turn your belly and heart towards that leg. Turn your belly and heart towards that drop knee. Lengthen your waist up out of your hip, head and neck in line with the heart. The tendency is for the head to be falling forward or crunching somewhere. How do you bring your head and neck in line with the body? Inhale back to center and second side. Left hand pushes the left leg down, right arm becomes a kickstand. You can adjust it to be comfortable in any way you need. Push that leg down to the mat, turn your belly and heart towards the drop knee. Lengthen your waist up out of your hip. Head and neck in line with the body. And slowly, gently release back to center. Draw a bend into the knees, feet wide out in front of you, flat on the floor. Lift and shift your hips so that you find a forward tilt into the pelvis. Hands come down between the legs. Wiggle your body between your thighs as much as you can. Find a rounding in the back body. Let your crown hang heavy towards. Turtle pose. Lots of options here with the hands. You can keep them down in center. You can bring your hands to the outsides of the feet. Or you can walk your hands straight out to the sides. Think of that long arching spine from tail to skull. Let the back of the neck be long. Use your hands back at center to help the body come back upright to seated. Turn and face the length of your mat. Lengthen your legs out in front of you. Have your feet towards the front of the mat so that you have room behind you to lay back. Inhale to prepare with long legs. On the exhale, round down to forward fold. Think about that long back of the neck, head and neck in line with the body. Reach with the crown towards the feet. Try not to pull with the arms. Let the arms relax at the sides of the legs. Soft head, neck, and shoulders. Space between the shoulders and ears. Bring the hands together over the legs, and then slowly curl back. Keep your head and face tucked towards the heart as you bring the body backward, one vertebrae at a time, coming down to the mat. Arms go up overhead, reach long in both directions. Bring your hands down to the sides of the body. Wiggle your hips to bring each hand underneath the glutes. Palms facing down, thumbs touching each other. So this is baby fish pose. You might be familiar with big fish pose where you lift your head off of the ground. This is not that. So you're going to keep your head grounded, your neck relaxed. In order to activate baby fish pose, hug your elbows together. So you're going to slide your glutes up onto your forearms or wrists. Hug your elbows together underneath you and squeeze your shoulder blades together underneath the back body. Head and neck are relaxed and touching the floor. Just your heart is popped up to the sky. Big arch in the back body. Shoulder blades hugging each other. Arms completely tucked underneath the back body. 3 big expansive breaths here. Expand the heart and rib cage up to the sky. And relax the chest and heart and ribs as you bring your arms back to either side of the body. Find your comfort here. If you need to lift and shift the hips, let the legs and arms come into any position that feels good. To settle in to this space and moment. Let the body feel heavy and held. Soften the eyes to a closed or an easy gaze. Let any tension in and around the eyes, brow bones, cheekbones, the bridge of the nose, Where can you melt and soften and let go? In and around the lips, the chin, jawline. Let your jaw hang back by your ears, total rest. And you soften in and around the ears, the collarbones. Where can you let go? 3 and 4 layers deeper down into the musculature, into the soft tissue. Scan your awareness throughout and notice, how do you feel? What sensations are present for you? How do you feel in comparison to when you got here? Did you create any new aha moments, muscle memories, connections with yourself? You take this time in Shavasana, or final resting pose, to marinate in the cellular experience of this practice, whatever that looks like for you. Breathing, moving, stillness, or being curious. These practices are always here for you to come home to. Invite gratitude into your heart for all that you are right now, and your practice is perfect. Gratitude for making all of this time and space to be here with your practice tonight. Let that gratitude and loving kindness fill you up and surround you like the best hug. As you start to invite movement back into the body, maybe a reach or bend or stretch. Let that loving gratitude stay with you into your night and week and life. As you feel ready, draw bent knees and roll over onto one side. Then use the hands to push the body back upright to seated. We'll close the practice bringing hands into prayer position in front of the heart. In Kripalu, we say, Jai Bhagwan. The divine in me honors and appreciates the divine in you. So I bow to all of you and say, Jai Bhagwan. Thank you all so much for joining me and sharing your beautiful practice. It's the joy of my week to be here with you. Thank you so much for letting me share my practice with you. I hope to see you all again. I'm here Monday through Wednesday at 8 p.m. Have a beautiful night. Thank you. Thank you.